Today's lecture is, what is your FPA? Okay. Anybody know what FPA means? No?
Factory produced agriculture. I don't know.
Say again?
I'm playing. Factory produced agriculture. I'm just.
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
That's a good guess. Yeah, but no. It's not.
Flavor preference.
Something, yeah, no. I'll try to keep this fun for you guys. This is really a collection of thoughts and ideas that I've collected over the last 13 and a half years. When I took this job, I was only supposed to be here 6 months. I'm 13 years overdue. So I hope you'll enjoy this. This is really created by many of the people that come through here. And you know, I've been able to sort of watch and observe and speak to them. So I'm hoping that this will speak to you in some way. All right, can I go ahead and delete this? You guys are all good? All right. Again, I will try to keep this entertaining for all of you.
So what is FCA?
I will get to that. We're about to get to that.
You erased it.
All right. I know that a lot of you, even though I don't recognize hardly anybody, some of you are maybe ongoing patients of the establishment here for many years. There used to be a doctor here by the name of Dr. Isabeau, who is unfortunately no longer with us. He was the most, I don't even know what to call it. He was like the perfect picture of health. The man was one of our chiropractors here. He's a marathon runner. He would take 5 minutes to eat food, and the rest of his lunch he would go out to run. We'd often see him running here while he was at work, come back, treat more patients, yada, yada, yada. The last guy you would think that would get lung cancer, but he did. And he fought it bravely, and unfortunately he did not win the battle. So this is, you know, for me, part of honoring him, because he was such a great guy. He really was. Shortly after his passing, you know, within months kind of a thing, I was beginning to not feel so well. And having that, you know, thought of him just recently pass, you know, your brain automatically goes into overdrive. It's like, oh, damn, you know, what if there's something wrong with me? You know, what if I got some form of cancer or, you know, some sort of sickness? I was feeling very sluggish, achy. You know, I wasn't really feeling myself. So I decided I was going to just do something, you know, book an appointment here with one of the other doctors and try to figure out just what the heck was going on, because I just was not feeling so good. And before the appointment, I just happened to hop on a scale, all right? So I hop on the scale, and I'm like, oh, I know what's wrong with you, you fat bastard. What happened? And that's the first, you know, image or the thought that came to my mind. I was like, what happened? You know, I am the chef here at True North. I eat here most of my meals. I drink green juice. What the hell happened? So I hopped on a different scale just to make sure. Second opinion. And unfortunately, you know, I got the same result. So, you know, I was happy that I did not have cancer, but I just sort of confused as to what had happened. And so I wanted to find out just how the heck it snuck up on me. And this might relate to some of you, because sometimes, you know, we think that we're doing so well and it just sneaks up on us. It really does. And so what happened was I started sort of going back in the memory bank. I was like, you know, what have I been doing? And sure enough, my grandma had come to visit not that long ago, and her visits usually are months long. And when grandma cooks, I eat. And so I just started remembering like how long she'd been here, and when she's here, you know, I go see her every day. You know, I grew up to be a chef because I grew up in my grandmother's kitchen. So anytime she's around, I'm always in there with her. Even if I just stop by really quick for 5 minutes, I see her every day. And sure enough, because I was seeing her every day, you know, I started going through all the meals that she's cooking. And she's not True North approved. We'll say it that way. And the funniest thing is that she actually does not eat what she cooks. She does not eat meat at all. And you know, I had a conversation with her when this happened. It's like, you know, you cook all this food for us, and you know, God forbid me for not eating your food because you get so mad if I don't eat what you make, but you don't eat your food. And she goes, oh, mijo, the meat doesn't sit well in my stomach. I'm like, okay, that's good. So surely enough, you know, that sort of thing happened. And as we get back to the this term that I came up with sort of for fun, FPA. If I turn this into a G, would you know what that is?
Yeah.
So what is your GPA? Your grade point average. This is a very common thing for high schoolers and college students to know, because they're very focused on what their GPA means, which means grade point average. However, what that means is that if you're in high school, as a high school student, you're worried about that because colleges are going to look at your GPA, which means what is your body of work throughout 4 years of high school. You know, they don't care what you got in your junior year of English class or your sophomore year of math. They want to know the whole thing. You know, they can't judge you based on one class, one subject. They want to know, you know, that number. And typically, you're a quote unquote a perfect GPA is a 4.0. Okay, I'm sure you guys, some of you are familiar with this. Okay, all right. So
Heard of it.
heard of it. So FPA here refers to what is your food point average. Okay, what is your food point average? And if you were to imagine a guy, two fellas, okay, best friends, let's say, and one of them is eating a kale salad on a, what's today, Friday for lunch. He's eating a kale salad. And his best buddy is eating a all-American meal, you know, burger. Yep. You can't really figure out who's got the better FPA, all right? Because the guy who's got the kale salad in front of him might just be like starting his, you know, I need to, you know, get out of my bad eating habits. I need, you know, maybe he's in the, you know, 1.0 thing, okay? And he's trying to raise that food point average, okay? And this is the first start. And his best buddy over here, he's more of a 3.5, but today's his cheat day, okay? And so we can't really judge somebody by one meal, okay? And truth be told, we should not be judging anybody by any amount of meals, but we can certainly do that to ourselves, okay? We can certainly, you know, maybe not judge, but just be honest. Because one of the big things here that I like to point out, and I think some of the other doctors do as well, is your body will not lie to you, okay? Your body doesn't lie. Your body will start to feel sluggish and, you know, feel like there's something wrong with you. And it might, you know, make you think, boy, I better make a doctor appointment to figure out what's going on. Some of the signs that you might experience, your clothes, you know, when clothes start to either fit better or worse, tighter, looser, that's a pretty good indicator. You know, how flexible you are, how good your bowel movements are, okay? All of those are indicators of where your body is at, okay? And none of that will lie to you. Your body will always be honest with you, okay? All right, let's get rid of the kale salad and the burger here. All right. Now, here's what I would really like for you to remember about this whole thing. You know, how does FPA help you? Okay, what is, you know, if you think of FPA, I'd like to give you something that you very quickly, you know, think about and you're like, okay, I know kind of a thing. All right, anybody here a big stock market person? No? A little bit? Okay. So if you are familiar with the stock market, you'll know that it's not a straight line. You know, we're never like, you know, it's not nothing like this. It's not like money, 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 or loss, 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 loss. Okay, that's not how the stock market works. The stock market usually goes something like this. You know, we're sort of in a economy recovery kind of thing, but even so, there's a lot of this going on. So this is sort of what the stock market is kind of doing right now, okay? It's, you know, you'll notice that it's a lot of ups and downs kind of a thing. And this is on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a month basis. It will always look like these. A lot of peaks and valleys, okay? Now, how does the FPA work? Well, very much like the stock market, you kind of want to figure out what you want to look at, okay? Am I going to be honestly looking at what I've been doing for the last, say, 6 months, okay? So if 6 months ago I was here, and 6 months ago I'm here now, I probably had some burger meals, maybe some pizza and whatnot, but overall, I'm trending up, okay? So when I talk about FPA, you know, I like to say to people, like, don't worry about one bad meal that you had. You know, what you really want to know is, are you trending up or are you trending down? Okay? Because again, a kale salad is not going to, you know, suddenly give you a 3.7. Okay? It's a 3, 6, 1 year kind of time period that you can really look at what you've been doing. Okay? That makes sense? All right. I'll tell you another funny story. Before that, though, I'd like to say this. This makes sense to me because of one thing. I don't get into this perfect or nothing kind of thing. All or nothing sort of mentality, okay? I can't be thinking I have to be a 4.0 all the time, every day, every week, or else, you know, I might as well not even care, okay? I can't get into that mentality of perfection because I know of these things, okay? If you have the personality of a gold hammer, okay, he's very much into this. You know, there is no peak and balance, but he's such an odd type, you know. Most of us are, you know, sort of regular folks. So unless you have a gold hammer personality, this whole thing about, you know, it has to be perfect or it can't happen at all isn't useful to you, okay? One of the big things that I always promote to people is say, look, don't set yourself up for perfection because you are very, very likely to fail, okay? That's just human nature, okay? And so if you happen to have a bad meal, or if you decide that you are going to have a cheat day, or if you decide that, you know, today is your spouse's birthday and you're just gonna relax for the day, or whatever parameters you set up for yourself, that's okay, okay? Don't be so uptight about it, or maybe that's not the right word. Don't be so focused on, you know, the number here, okay? I went through one of these, you know, down things, but with every meal, you have an opportunity to start your uptrend. That make sense? All right, now let me tell you another funny story. So this is now, this trend here was 8 months ago. Well, let's say 9 months ago. So this was 9 months ago. This here was 3 months ago. So this is a 6-month uptrend. This is my own. Okay, I'm going to share another personal funny story. Okay. So 9 months ago, I was somewhere here, and then I decided I was really gonna invest in my health. Just overall, I wanted to just get a little bit better. Okay. So what I did was I set up a spreadsheet for myself, and I was sort of giving myself points. In the spreadsheet, there was 21 meals, 3 meals per day, 7 times a week, so that was 21 meals. And in there was make sure I had a salad, make sure most of my calories came from simple starches, potatoes, yams, kind of a thing, and glasses of water or whatnot. You don't have to remember all that. The point was I was trying to set myself up to go in an uptrend. Along those lines, I also, because of Dr. Isabeau, I tore a meniscus thing on my knee, and he convinced me not to have surgery. He said, it's really not the best idea. Most of the time, these sort of heal on their own. Just give it some time. And so, somewhere here, I decided, I haven't really ran in a while because, again, this thing, but I'm gonna try it, and if my knees can withstand it, I'll just keep going. And sure enough, I got stronger. I started lifting weights, so I was doing pretty good. At the 3-month mark, the lovely Dr. Varesh came up to the kitchen one day, and she said, "Oh, you've been working out, haven't you?" And I said, "You know it." So that was, a good high for me. This is working. Okay. But something happened here at this 3-month mark. I met this girl who I've been single for a long time. So I met this girl, and she was really cool, sort of kind of what I was looking for in many categories. And we kind of hit it off, and we were sort of getting to know each other or not. And I was feeling really good about myself. And then came the conversation of, she's like, I think you're a great guy, and I really like being with you, but I'm not looking for anything serious. This is just very casual for me, kind of thing. She didn't say that word, but, essentially in those terms. And I did not like that. Because I had been single for a long time, and I was like, thinking, I'm just gonna get healthy for me, not for anything else. Then I meet this girl, I was like, okay, this is working. This is like kind of where I'd like to be, physically, emotionally, romantically. But then she was like, I don't want anything serious. And so my uptrend started going a little bit more like this. Kind of here. And so my momentum was at that point just really horizontal. Okay. And what happened was, so this is now 9 months ago, 3 months ago. This was 2.5 months ago. So this was a very short amount of time. I had this sort of, aha moment kind of a thing when in previous relationships, I had been the other person, okay, where I had said, you know what, I'm just not looking for anything serious. And then particularly this one girl who is amazing, and I'm still sort of, kicking myself for, letting her go. I remember I made her cry. you know, because she was like, you know, what is the matter? You know, this is going so well. And I was like, nah, you know, this is going great. You know, we don't need to make it any more serious. And I was like, oh, so that's what that feels like. And so at this point, I did what any respectable, handsome man does. I didn't want to deal with all the feeling because it didn't feel good. So I ignored it, okay? Just what every guy would do. And it just so happens that right here, my dad got a pool table. And I was like, hey, let's play pool, because that's going to keep my mind off of it. And at first we were sort of evenly matched kind of a thing. My dad is not the kind of guy who will play just for fun. There's always got to be money involved. Otherwise, it's no fun. Okay, whether it's cards, pool, whatever it is. So we were just kind of going back and forth. But then I realized that I could go on YouTube to learn how to be a better pool player. And suddenly my dad was a steady income stream. 2 out of 3 for $10 every time. So every time I go over there, 10, 20 bucks. It was a reliable income, which was great. But the problem was that we were playing pool, so my mom would come in, hey, you know, why don't you guys have some beers? Here's some snack, here's some chips, here's some nuts and whatnot. And this is what my trend was doing. So here about 2 weeks ago, this was my turn. Maybe not that steep, maybe more like yeah, that's a little better. And so it snuck up on me again. I wasn't feeling so well. I was feeling sluggish, and I decided to get on the scale. Sure enough, same thing happened. I'd been doing so well. Within this period of time, I stopped running, I stopped lifting weights, but somehow I was feeling good because I was making money off my dad. And it wasn't like a huge amount, you know, I wasn't, you know, paying my bills off of it, but it's kind of fun to like beat your dad and make money off of him. I was feeling accomplished. But nevertheless, you know, I realize I'm definitely on a downtrend. You know, this isn't right. And so 2 weeks ago, I decided, you know, I had the conversation with the girl, because throughout this whole time we sort of kept in touch. We were sort of together-ish. And I said, you know what, this isn't working for me. I don't want to change your mind. But you're not looking for anything serious, that's great. But I am, so, you know, I'm just gonna move on. And, you know, there was no ill feelings. We're still sort of friends. But I realized, you know, I can't, she's not gonna change. I don't want to change her. She is who she is, but I can't hang on to this because it's just making me go on a downtrend. Great, I've learned to be a better pool player, but that's really not doing anything for my health. So then I started, you know, slowly but surely kind of doing this. So this is my last 2 weeks here. I'm slowly kind of going here. Now it's difficult because when I was here, running was a lot easier, but here, I've got extra weight to carry, so it's harder. But, you know, slowly but surely, kind of a thing. So I just wanted to share that with you. Not because it's a funny story, you know, it's all true, by the way. I'm not making any of this up. It isn't meant to be a funny story. All it is I'm showing you what a random person's sort of trajectory is. And this is nothing more than information, okay? That's all it is. I'm not a better person because I was here. I'm not a bad person because I was here. It's just simply information, okay? All right, so I was eating healthier, more exercise, I'm on an uptrend. Okay, I'm looking at a 6-month period of time. That's good. And then within this 2 weeks, something happened, kind of going horizontal. And now within this 2-month period, something is off. You know, I'm on a downtrend. Okay. Funny enough, over a 8.5-month period of time, I'm still going up. Okay. Now it's not as good as, you know, the path that I've gone here, but over that 8.5, 9-month period, I'm still trending up. Okay. So the idea is that don't get so caught up into this, you know, I'm here and it's going really bad and I'm so disgusted in myself and why am I even wasting money going to True North and, you know, all this and that. Take your FPA, look at it over a longer period of time and hey, you know what? This is sort of a downtick, but overall I'm still slowly but surely trending up. Okay. It is nothing more than information. Okay. This isn't a good or bad. This isn't a, you know, I'm a good person, bad person, healthy, unhealthy. It's just information, and it can help you sort of get out of a slump, quote unquote, if you are willing to say, hey, you know what? Let's remove the good and the bad labels. Let's look at the FPA honestly over however long a time that I need to, and that'll tell me where I'm at, and that'll tell me where I want to go. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. Now, is the goal of the FPA to trend up or down?
Up.
Who says down?
Depends where you are, right?
Nobody said, okay. Who says up? What is the goal of the FPA? Is the goal to trend up? Raise your hand. Yeah.
What's the identification of food though? Good food, bad food, all food?
Food in general, your diet. Okay. I guess we should have started with that. So let's say if you have a fast food burger at a random place, that's kind of like a D-, F maybe. And so what that would give you would be, let's say a burger is going to give you a 1 point out of 4, okay? But if you have that kale salad, that's more of a 3.8, okay? It could be a 4, but we don't know what else is on that salad. We don't know what kind of dressing. Okay, so again, a perfect FPA, just like a GPA, a perfect one is a 4.0, okay? Right? So a burger isn't gonna get you a whole lot of points. This is more of a D sort of grade, where this is an A grade, okay? And so again, if you just sort of tally up all your meals, you kind of figure out where you're at, okay? So the goal of the FPA is actually not to be trending up, okay? The goal of the FPA is to give you information so that you're sort of at that peak, whichever level it is that you want to be at. At some point you might decide, this is what I really want to be, okay? And then you might have started here, and then you got up here, and then you're like, ha! I have reached my goal, kind of where I want to be. So now the goal of the FPA is just to sort of keep you here so that you're horizontal. You're staying where you want to be. And there might be ups and downs still in there, okay? But the goal is to just be horizontal because you reach the level that you want to, okay? And whether that's the ideal weight, the ideal blood pressure, the ideal whatever you want it to be, okay? If your goal is I want to be done taking medications, and you've gotten there through healthy food, you're like, okay, I've reached my goal. Now I'm just going to stay here, Okay? Make sense? So that's the goal, okay? But you can always remember FPA. Am I trending down? Am I trending up? Am I trending down? Am I trending horizontal? And over what period of time? Okay? And that's the information that you're gonna get out of that. And then you decide whether that's where you wanna be or not. Make sense? All right.